remember when I learned this guitar theme from Pink Floyd's Shine On You Crazy Diamond. I was sitting in front of my window for like an hour and playing these 4 notes. This combination of fretted and open strings was something magical and unknown. But what makes this guitar theme so beautiful? The mixture of fretted and open notes can produce very sonorous sounds. I'm Eleftheriou, the monitors behind me are flickering, and in this video I'll try to analyze the characteristics of open string playing and transform some conventional guitar chords to open string chords. So if you're a guitar player that wants to incorporate this stuff to your playing, or a composer that wants to write more resonant guitar chords, then hit that subscribe button and let's dive into it. What makes open string chords so special? I'll take an A minor 9th bar chord and compare it with its open string version to demonstrate to you the 3 key elements that shape the sound of open string chords. Number 1, the resonance, meaning that each note sounds on top of the other. But the same applies for the bar chord too, right? Number 2, wider intervals. With the right voicing, an open string chord can have larger intervals between chord tones. But what if I skip some strings on the bar chord? I should have wider intervals there too, right? 3, resonant clusters. Some open string chord voicings provide us with some ringing notes that are so close to each other. And this is a very essential reason for me to use those chords, because those notes that are really close to each other create some tension to the chord, a tension that you can't really have with a bar chord unless you add a brave quantity of stretching. Shine On You Crazy Diamond's theme has the resonance, obviously, and those resonant clusters. Look how close those notes are. All of this, combined or not, make open strings a very interesting area to explore in the guitar. Now I'll try to show you how to blend open strings in any chord with just 3 simple steps. I guess 3 is the lucky number of this video. So I made a call for scores on my Instagram page and my thousands of followers replied to it. By the way, if you're on Instagram, be sure to follow me because I really enjoyed this input and I may do it in the future as well. Step 1. Name the chord's notes. D, F, A, C, C, E, G, A, F sharp, A, C sharp, E, B, D sharp, F sharp, A, C, E, G, B. Step number 2. Find the chord tones that you can play with open strings. Depending on your tuning, you have to know your possibilities. For example, in a D minor 7th chord, you could use A and D strings. And in an F sharp minor 7th chord, you could use A and D strings, and so on. Easy as that, right? Step number 3. The most substantial and creative one. Voice the chord. Put the chord's notes in a row. Actually, this is up to your imagination and the voicing depends on the context of your chord progression. Just keep in mind that the bass note is really important because our ear will relate the top notes to the lowest one. For example, a C6th chord could be heard as an A minor 7th chord if the A note is on the bass. The most safe way is to put the root note on the bass, but don't lock yourself into that. Just try all the notes combination and choose the one you like the most. It's like having a vertical line. You may decide to make a square out of it or write a word around it. It's your choice, there's no wrong or right. Now let me show you how I transform those chords. I'll change the angle of the camera because I've read that it helps people stay longer in the video. First chord, D minor 7th. I do have the A and D open strings, and on top of that I'm going to play the other chord tones. So, nice and resonant chord here. What I frequently do is that I add the extensions of the chord, like the 9th, like the 11th, and so on. And in this case, I can use the high E string in order to play the 9th of D minor 7th. Now, we have the resonance, we have a wide interval between those two notes here, and if I add the 9th, I have a resonant cluster between those two notes. If you see at the sheet music, they are really close together. So all together, it's a nice chord. I really want to play around with it. Next chord is C6. The notes that I do have is C, E, G, and A, so I do have a lot of open strings available, E, G, and A. Right now I'm gonna use G and E, and I'm gonna play lower than those two, the other notes, C and A. C, A, G, E. That's a nice chord. Now, regarding the extensions that I was mentioning before, I do have the B open string, which is the 7th of the chord, and I'll use it. So we have a resonance, obviously, and we don't have really wide intervals, but we do have some resonant clusters, which is between A and G. We're really close in the sheet music, and between A and B. Actually, I have three notes that are whole step apart from each other. And again, I'll move my fretted fingers in order to come up with something. Not bad, right? So let's move on to the next chord, C major 7th. I do have E, G, and B as open strings. And I'm gonna use the B and E open strings, and I'm gonna play the other notes lower, like nice chord. Now I have the resonance. And I don't have wide intervals, but I do have some resonant clusters as well, which is between C and B. Look, they're really close in the sheet music, so I can alternate if I want to add the 9th, which is something I frequently do. 9th is my middle name, I think, so I'll put the D note here instead of G. I'm gonna play the D note here, and so I do have three notes that are really close to each other, which is C, D, and E. Beautiful chord. For the last chord, which is B7, I'll play the A and B open notes, and in between I'm going to play all the others that remain. Now I do have the resonance. I don't have the wide intervals nor the resonant clusters. In order to have one of those, I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna use just the A string as an open string. And now I have this cluster low on my register. I can add the E open string, which will add the 11th, and I'll have another resonant cluster between E and F sharp. Okay, so I have a resonance and I have two clusters. Beautiful. I could talk for open strings the whole day, but this is the last thing that you'd want. I hope that you saw how chords can change with open strings and how this tool can really explode our imagination. Tabs and sheet music are going to be on my Patreon page, where you can join in, and for June 2020 I'm going to video reply and give you feedback by video to your questions or to your playing. Be sure to join in, and I hope that you find some space for open strings in your musical world. Until next time, think, create, share.